Hello. My name is Leviathan. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I was gonna try to do like a Kenny JD thing, but I don't know how to do that, so we're not gonna do that. Anyway, hello. Welcome. Happy you're here. Short channel intro. I talk about writing, art, games, movies, a lot of things. I'm losing track. Anyway, I do all of this because I'm trying to eventually get into game development. I'm working on a project, but don't ask me questions about it because it is nowhere near finished, okay? And I don't know how to code. I may have bitten off more than I can chew, but we're not here to talk about that. We are here to talk about this game called The Whale Island, which is by Studio Avarium. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but the art style is gorgeous. I actually played their like short demo teaser for Neverlander. It looks so good. Oh my god. It looks so good. I am so ready. I want to pay for it. I do not have the money, but I will be supporting the studio by making this video and telling you guys, like, if you get the chance, please do play it, share it, you know, the whole shebang. The art style, just that alone, it's so good. Anyway, enough about me gushing over this art style. Let's play the game. Now, usually I would give a little bit, no, actually I wouldn't. I was gonna say, usually I would give a little bit of a rundown of what the game is about, but I just realized I never do that actually. I should probably start doing that. But anyway, I didn't read the description that deeply, or I read it months ago, so I kind of forgot everything. So we're just gonna play the game and see what happens. And yeah. Also, my last two videos were like really long. They were like 45 minutes and 50 minutes. Mostly because I can't stop talking, but we're not talking about that right now. We're gonna try to keep it short. So if we don't finish the game, that's fine. We will finish it later. As far as I know, this is an Otome visual novel. That is not the theme I was supposed to do for this month. I was supposed to do like Melancholy March, and it was supposed to be a whole thing, but then I missed a week, so I was like, never mind. Okay, anyway, let me stop and just start playing the game, actually. Let me make sure the audio's up because... Tisha. I spotted a whale while I was out sailing. It wasn't as big as I expected, though. Can you guys hear me? Hold on. Let me make it. Also, y'all see the background work? Sound effects? I mean, hey, if y'all need some voice actors, I can help. Alright, anyway, let me get going. Sailor 1. Go on, tell me about it. It's not like you see the thing every day. Tisha. Well, a whale's a whale. What's more to it? Spews water like a fountain, that. Sailor 2. Sure. Have at it, Miss Killjoy. Why are you always like this, huh? I should probably be doing an accent. I see that it's written that way, but I don't know which accent it is, and I don't want to mess it up. So, we're not gonna do that. Tisha, what I am is being tired as hell. I'm leaving now. I got up from my seat. The tavern was too noisy for me. I used to enjoy such an atmosphere once, its rowdiness and cheers, but it has been long since been a tale of the past. I read that wrong. Just ignore it. But it has long since been a tale of the past. As I stood up to take my leave, my gaze came across a certain man's. Herbert's, to be exact. Oh, hey, Herbert. What's up? Herbert. Look what we have here. Our darling rookie navigator, Tisha. God, not this again. Tisha said that. By the looks of his face, lit brilliantly scarlet, it seemed like he had already had a bottle or two of rum in him. So he's drunk off his... I almost cussed. Not today! Not today. Herbert lifted his tankard toward the ceiling, opening his mouth for a toast that I did not have enough time to interrupt. I could already feel the dreaded wave of embarrassment that was sure to follow. Herbert, well, she values the ship much more than herself. Tisha, Herbert, I appreciate the thought, but this is... Alas, her love is only for the ship, not even a spare for myself. This is getting ridiculous. Tisha, is this toast supposed to be for you or for me? Herbert, for Tisha, who only has her ship and not a dime more for herself. Why is this girl getting roasted? Tisha, stop prattling on with your drunken nonsense. Herbert, cheers! Following Herbert, Tom, Miller, and Andrew raised their own tankards with vigor. Herbert is like a father figure to me. He took me in when I was an orphan child swept up on the waves of the shore and raised me as his own. I get it, at least. I get that he must feel a bit lonely with his almost daughter out at sea with her ship most of the time. Still, that did not change the fact that his claims always ended up embarrassing me more than it should. Well, is your parent even a parent if they don't embarrass you on occasion? That's like the natural cause and effect of having parents. Or almost parents. Besides, I couldn't even argue against it. Everything he said was true. Okay, I see where we're going. You know the Lifetime trope where it's like the busy career woman goes to a small town and falls in love with some regular dude, and he's like, you have all this time for your work, but no room for a man. I don't know if it's going that way. But it feels like it. We'll see. My ship was the most important thing in my life. Excluding the ship, I had nothing to lose or gain. Well, I think you should have a little bit more. This means that, ultimately, if I lose the ship, I would be a person who would be left with absolutely nothing to my name. Girlfriend, you should do some investments, put some in stocks. Try pirating. I mean, don't do that, actually. I breathed out a deep sigh. You're right, I'd be nothing without my ship. Owner, you'd be nothing without your ship, you say? Tisha, you heard me the first time, no need to ask twice. As I was about to leave the tavern, muttering bitterly to myself, the owner grabbed me by the arm, stopping me in my tracks. Whoa, 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 buddy, keep your hands to yourself. She didn't say that, I'm saying that. Hands off, just use your words. You don't need to grab me. I assumed that he was going to tell me to do something about Herbert's current state, so I shot him a frown of disdain. The noisy chatter of the passerby wafted in through the open door, mixing in with the noise of the tavern patrons. Owner, well, if that's true, it seems like you really might be left with nothing. Tisha, huh? Oh, wait. Her ship is on fire? Wow, who screwed her over? There's no way that ship caught on fire by itself. Not a chance. Not a chance on this earth. Well, on their earth. There's no way. She definitely got sabotaged. The question is who? Far too suspicious, I think. Far, far too suspicious. Okay. From amidst the hold on, let me... From amidst the freezing chill of the night, blazing heat swept along the breeze, warming my cheeks. The wind carried the acrid stench of burning wood. My face started to grow hot as I pushed through the crowd gathered at the tavern's entrance. A moored ship consumed in a coil of jet-black smoke, each of its burning streams. I could not believe the scene unraveling before me. I refused to believe it. But just when I was entering my hopeful stroke of denial, a strong gust of wind blew across the waves, and the thick, towering stack of smoke that was covering the ship's flag scattered across the sky. A flag with a coral base with blue horizontal stripes across it. It was unquestionably my ship. God, no! I'm going to end up a pauper! Yeah, that is the worst fate known to man, actually. Well, it's not the worst fate, but it's definitely one of them. I would know. But, okay, so we agree this is sabotage, right? Because there's no way her ship just went on fire at random. There's no way. I don't believe it. Only her ship? I mean, unless maybe she left like an oil lantern running, but who would do that? The ship is her life. She wouldn't be so careless. It's far too suspicious, I think. Tisha, wait, I shouldn't be worried about my ship. I set off running, my heart pounding in my throat. A stack of boxes crashed against my shoulder, toppling over. I forcefully pushed my way through the chattering onlookers. Bellowing dark smoke continued to rise, threatening to consume the wooden structure, even as I climbed the side of the ship by a rope ladder. Not even noticing how the air itself burned in ruthless heat, I jumped onto the deck. Tisha, I need to save the ship. I need to save the ship. I need to save the ship. My head was filled with nothing but the desperate plea of trying to save the ship. I was so shocked that I couldn't even think straight. Yeah, because she, just jumped into a burning ship right now. I don't understand why she did that. Wouldn't it be better to, get some buckets of water and start throwing that instead of running directly into the fire? Am I tripping? I feel like she should have gotten, a bucket and started, throwing it. I mean, unless it was oil fire, which that would have not helped. As I stumbled across the deck, I took notice of messily scattered footprints. If nothing else, I could see that the fire hasn't spread to the deck quite yet. I couldn't hear the usual voice from the ship. I felt like I was losing my mind. The usual voice from the ship? Was there someone on the ship, or does the ship talk? You know what? Maybe I'm daft. I don't know. I dashed downstairs to the engine room at the bottom of the ship. Flames of varying sizes danced on the walls. I felt like my heart was seizing up in my chest. The engine kept on whirring its heart out. Unfamiliar footprints were leading to the engine room. Okay, so someone was definitely in here. When I first saw it, I was like, maybe it was a crew member. But no, they said unfamiliar footprints was all up on her ship. That is so suspicious. That is super suspicious. Very, very suspicious. Yeah, that's suspicious. I've got my eye on you. This is very suspicious. Okay. The tracks led to the storage rooms, pipes broken in every interval, cooling pouring out everywhere. A state of absolute chaos. Okay, so someone was in her ship. I'm thinking of something other than a cuss word. Absolutely messing her whole place up. Destroying it. Breaking pipes, messing up the engines. The whole thing, wow, that's crazy. That's messed up. I feel bad for her, actually. I suddenly remembered something Herbert once told me. Herbert, there have been increasing reports of thieves targeting ships. Should I start reading it in a voice for him? Should I? Alright, I guess we're doing it. Thanks for the motivation, guys. There have been increasing reports of thieves targeting ships to strip them of their parts to resell them. So don't forget to lock all of your doors tight. That was my first try, okay? So don't be too hard on me. Okay, so basically, thieves attacked her ship. But, why did they need to burn it down, though? Couldn't they have just taken the parts and leave? And left? Why burn it down? Isn't that too far? Now, I know I shouldn't, but as someone who has read a lot of mysteries, I'm questioning everybody, okay? And I'm gonna say that Herbert seems a little suspicious. Maybe he wanted his daughter to come back and not spend so much time in her ship. Maybe he wanted to spend more time with her, and so he decided to sabotage her. Maybe. Ooh, or maybe it was the love interest all along, and for whatever reason, he decided to sabotage her. Or It was another ship master or something, and another sailor who decided to screw her over so that they could get more fish in the sea or whatever. I don't know, but everything's suspicious, and I have lots of questions. Anyway, let's continue. Of course, I made sure to set the locks Herbert gave me on all the doors. You saw that, right? The locks Herbert gave her? Very suspicious, very suspicious. Upon closer inspection, even the doorknob did not survive the ordeal, let alone a single lock. Okay, so all the locks were destroyed. So that changes things a bit. I mean, what would be the point of breaking his own locks, right? Tisha, the locks were pointless, Herbert. It was already spilt milk, however. Nothing could be done at the moment. Herbert was a good man, but he never was the sharpest tool in the shed. I mean, locking your stuff up is a good idea. Unfortunately, whoever decided to screw up your ship really is determined, I guess. My face grew warmer until it practically felt like on the verge of catching fire. I inched closer to the engine, barely avoiding the flames licking at my feet. Bro, this is a bad idea. Why are we in the ship? Is it to get cargo, or why are we here? It seemed like the engine overheated due to the lack of coolant, and due to the loss of a major circuit, it started running indefinitely with no hopes of stopping itself. Okay, so we're getting an explanation. Okay. So basically, because they messed up the ship, the engine overheated, and then because they took the major circuit, I don't know why I'm repeating what I've just read. Okay, anyway. I pulled my sleeves over my hands and grabbed the engine lever. The heat was so intense that it felt like it was almost enough to sear the shirt into my skin. Oh, that's a really bad burn. Oh, that's not good at all. I pulled the handle down with nearly everything I got. The crazed whir of the cogs did not stop. The acrid smoke just kept pouring out and out and out. Sweat beaded from every inch of my body, evaporating the instant it hit the air. And then, out of nowhere, I heard the sickening crunch of crumbling wood right above me. Ooh. Tisha. Herbert! Before I even had a proper moment to cry a half-hearted blame for my trust of Herbert's advice, the crossbeam shattered under its own weight. My vision went dark as the beam hurtled towards me. Oh, this is getting bad. This is really intense. This is really intense, you guys. New background. So are we in a new perspective, or do we just get saved, or who is this? Who is this? I know he's the love interest, but who is he actually? My gaze swept across the view of the port city, legs dangling above the edge of the bell tower. The tower was so grand that if one sat atop it, one could see each and every corner of the city spread in front of their very gaze. The people in the city scattered about, moving along like tiny ants. A constant stream of ships flowing in and out of the ports, their individual little streams of movement. You could see it all. The lighthouse lit up, casting a glow across the waves and onto the port side. A column of thick smoke was rising from the corner of the port, threatening to consume everything in their wake. I frantically threw my half-eaten sandwich aside. Okay, so this is the love interest POV, right? Okay. Should we wait, I'm not gonna give him an accent until I know for sure who's talking, because I was kind of confused. I untied the rope wrapped around my waist and retied it around a pole. Using the rope, I quickly shimmied down the tower. I felt the impact of the ground against my shoes not long after. Ignoring the main road, I took a turn and rushed down the winding alleyways. As soon as I broke through its dark grasp, I rushed myself to the port. I didn't even think while I was running. I always had the tendency to put myself in between every possible incident that presented itself to me. The fact that I was out of breath was completely out of my concern. The view of the night sea, dark and imposing, spread itself in front of me. A group of men fresh from the tavern, burly and rugged, were taking turns to dump buckets of water over themselves. Sailor 1, we have to save Tisha! We've got to save the ship, too! But in which order? Tisha, what kind of question is that? The person? What? Huh? Each and every one of their faces were flushed red, the distinct grasp of heavy alcohol upon them all. One of the men had fallen straight into the open waves, floating upon it like a heavy stem of driftwood. One took the rope ladder in an attempt to board the ship, but fell straight off into the sea to join his driftwood friend. The one who at least managed to board the ship was vomiting out his insides, over the rails and into the ocean below. Each and every one of them were utterly and completely useless in this situation. Wow, y'all are that drunk right now? That's kind of messed up. Is there no one else that could help? Seriously? Okay, so now that I know that we're in the male lead's POV, I'm gonna start giving him an accent. It is what it is, okay? I know if it's cringy, I'm sorry, okay? It is what it is. And besides, I've been wanting to use my British accent forever, so.
Hand the bucket over!
Never mind, he has voice lines. My bad. I was not expecting that. Whoops. Okay. Well, I guess that won't be necessary. Anyway. I snatched the bucket that the men were passing around and dumped its entire content over my head. I felt like a drowned rat, absolutely soaked from head to toe. The only difference between me and the hypothetical rat was that no sane rat would fling itself into the death sentence of a raging inferno. A man fell from the side of the ship, plummeting straight into the water as he lost his grip on the rope ladder. I let his falling form pass by me and leaped onto the deck. The heat rushing out from the back of the wooden walls dried my hair nigh instantly. Threads of black smoke rose from cracks between the wooden floorboards, licking at the soles of my shoes. It was sheer luck that the main deck and stairs were even still intact. I rushed downstairs. My eyes were starting to feel like it was lowered into a scalding pot of water as I descended the stairs. Wow, that's pretty bad. The cuffs of my pants were drying out. The sleeves were stiffening from the sudden loss of moisture. Scarlet light seeped out from the open edges of the engine room door. But the door refused to open. The top part of its frame had collapsed in on itself, mangling the structure of the door in the process. Not to mention the fact that the doorknob itself was nowhere to be found. Tisha. Someone! Anyone help! I know a lot of you were having a jolly time at the bar. Where in the world are any of you now? Well, drunk and falling off the boat at the moment. I could hear a young woman's voice behind the door, frantically calling for help. I rammed my shoulder against the door in desperation. I could hear the wood splintering under its weight. I rammed my shoulder again, but the force just wasn't enough to break through the material. I took a few steps back and took a deep breath. I lunged forward, throwing myself and my entire weight against the door. The leather of my jacket caught on the edge of a large splinter and tore as the door broke open. Tisha, who in the world are you? Why did a stranger of all people come to my rescue? Girl, what about a thank you? What about, hey, can you get me out of here? What are you talking about? I guess they don't have firefighters in this universe or what have you. But like, dang, that's the first thing you thought of? Can we get out of here first before you accost him?
Is that really what you should be worried about right now?
That's what I said. What he said. What he said. What are you talking about? What? Huh? Let's get to safety before you cuss him out. Yes, it is, in fact. Really, Tisha? Okay. You could not catch me doing that. I would be like, oh my god, please help me, get me out of here, please. Thank you. Or, hey, can you help me pull this engine lever? Because it is hot for real, and you have gloves on. So, the young woman was sprawled across the floor, a white-hot engine revving dangerously behind her. Must have been the captain or the navigator of this poor ship, I guess. Her legs were caught under the collapsed remains of a wooden crossbeam. There were no signs of major blood loss anywhere. At least it seemed like she was physically unharmed. She was still firmly trapped under the debris, however. I can't read. Okay, my phone gave me a notification. I could feel the panic rising in the back of my mind, cold sweat dampening my shirt as the sweltering heat and the fear of losing a life took hold of myself.
We can introduce ourselves after we get this sorted out. Let's get you out of here first.
Thank you! Why would that not be your first thought? I have no clue. I was like, girl, you gotta get your priorities straight. Oh my lord. Okay. Oh, so we're okay. Either grab the crossbeam or find levers to use. Now, I haven't been learning about the pulley system for quite a long while now, but I would know that using leverage is a lot better than trying to just grab the crossbeam because it's gonna be really heavy, and it was hard enough getting that door to open. And also, you're running out of oxygen, so better find the easiest way around that one. I frantically looked for something to use as leverage. Luckily, it didn't take me long to spot the crowbar leaning against the wall. I pushed the tip of the crowbar under one side of the crossbeam, then pushed against it with all my might. The base of my spine felt like it was on the verge of shattering with all the strain I was pushing myself into. Dang! On the verge of shattering? Dang. A small gap of space opened just above the woman's legs, just barely freeing her. She scrambled out from the lifted weight of the crossbeam, carrying herself across the floor. I let go of the crossbeam only after making sure she was completely free from its grasp. The heavy wood debris smashed against the floor. Smoke forced its way into my lungs as I gasped for air. Yeah, see what I was telling you about? You're losing oxygen, and fast. Only then I noticed the critical state of the engine. I grabbed the woman's arm, trying to pull her away from the edge of the room.
We need to get out of here now.
Okay, voice acting. Okay. I was shaking so bad that I could feel the tremor coursing through my spine. The engine was glowing red hot past the point of no return. The once leaking coolant pipes have long since dried up in the heat. There wasn't even a second left to spare. I helped Tisha up to her feet, and together we leapt over the shattered remains of the door. Luckily, the stairs hadn't collapsed yet.
Are you all right? Can you walk?
Fine and dandy. Can manage a sprint even. How about you?
You could worry about me later.
We helped each other up the stairs, arms locked against gravity. The woman's gaze darted across her surroundings, anxiousness pooled in her eyes. Men carrying buckets of water, still clearly drunk, scrambled down the stairs at last. What the hell were you guys doing all this time? I was on the verge of burning to death here. She pulled up her sleeve to hastily rub at her soot-covered face. She greeted the men with rightful ire, bringing down her hand to slap the back of each of the men as they hurried past her. The deck of the ship was bustling with motion. I climbed down the rope ladder, and soon the woman followed. I hacked out a painful series of coughs as my... Let me try that one more time. I hacked out a painful series of coughs as soon as... What is going on with my brain? As soon as my feet hit the ground, jeez Louise. It felt like my lungs were filled with acrid wood smoke up to my throat. I coughed out the remnants of the smoke for what seemed like ages. My eyes were tearing up from the effort. The previously sweat-drenched man shuffled over to stand next to me. The heat seemed to have completely dried him out. My sleeves were covered in soot, and so I assumed my face was no different. Finally, the young man and I got a good look at each other.
Have you lost your mind? What possessed you to think it was a good idea to jump into that inferno? You could have died!
Okay, slow down, buddy. I just met you. Where do you get off calling me out my name and everything? Well, he didn't do that. But where do you get off ridiculing me, okay? I'm sorry. I mean, yes, she was dumb for doing that. But I don't want to hear that from you, okay? I was trying to save my ship, okay? I don't want to hear it. What in the world? Alright, thanks. Now, be gone. Jeez. Why are you cussing me out, man? Dang. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think what you did was stupid. But, like, who are you? We just met. You're not a fireman. You're just a random dude. Anyway. It's a sworn captain's duty to protect their ship, isn't it? Nothing too strange about it. All right, so we're stopping here. The leads are about to cast each other out, and we'll now that the first arc of the ship is over. Okay, she's safe. The ship, they're trying to fix it. We're good. Okay, we'll continue later. All right. Okay. See ya. Oh yeah, I gotta do the whole YouTuber spiel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'm placing a spell on you right now. You can't see me, but I am. Please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share. That was kind of cringy, but whatever. Bye. I'll see you in the next one. We'll try to finish out this game then.